Alrighty, welcome back to Bid on You. Today we are joined by the community builder, the founder. It's giving women in founding. I made that up, but the founder of Hot Holy Healed, Amanda. This is my spirit fingers to talk about building community, hosting events, building a brand. You know, really what it takes to curate a space for people to just show up as their best selves.
Yeah,
and the way you can do that also is by following us across platforms and subscribing on YouTube.
that part.
So let's start the show.
I love it.
Miss Girl, so excited to have you here
Hello.
today. Like, well awaited for. The people are on the edge of their seats. They should be. So we're giving them the episode that they want, they're asking for.
You're welcome, ladies.
And we're going to get right down to brass tacks because we both can yap.
Yeah.
So I don't want any confusion there. Locking in.
Walking in, girl.
Okay. Let's talk a little about your story,
Okay.
right? The people, if they're in LA especially, I'm sure the algorithm has delivered them the Hot Holy Healed content that we all desire, which is how I found out about you. And then we have an amazing mutual friend. So shout out
Crazy.
her. But I'd love to know, you know, top line, what did you personally need that sort of led you to creating this amazing community that has grown into? Just tell us like your story a little bit, and what did you feel called to create maybe that just didn't exist yet?
Yeah. The story is large and in charge, so I'm not going to go into the thick of it, but to give you kind of like a top line overview, Hot Holy Healed is a plot twist. I didn't foresee it coming.
Yeah.
So to give you backstory, I started off in the entertainment world. I call myself the chocolate Hannah Montana.
Well, that eats. Well, no pun intended.
The
There it
best
is.
of both worlds. Was
Okay,
it? I don't
everybody
know.
makes mistakes and everybody has those days.
That part. But yeah, I was in advertising sales for a TV network while by night I was pursuing artistry. I was a singer. Still am a singer, but
Period.
that's kind of been on pause. However, Hot Holy Healed kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To give you kind of a gist, Hot Holy Healed was my personal mission before it became a community and a movement. I went through a really deep, hard season of grief and loneliness, and that was from experiencing friendship breakups and romantic breakups. And so in that season, I was convinced that heartbreak makes you hot.
Skinny legend like Wiz
Okay.
Khalifa.
I was convinced, but ultimately I wanted to do it through the lens of God. I'm like, okay, I'm not just trying to have a revenge
Right.
body. I
Like
want
we can be snatched.
we can be
for the
snatched
Lord.
for the Lord.
Amen.
Stewardship, okay.
Snatch up my spirit
Yeah.
and my body.
That mind
It's
sanctified
giving
body
refiner.
snatch.
You
That
sing,
part.
so you singing, not me. But I don't want to be tried by the fire.
Yeah,
I had
me
to stop
neither.
singing that.
Me too. I saw that. I think that was at my church. That viral clip that was going around.
Oh yeah, when he was like, "I'll be quiet on this
Yeah.
part."
Yeah.
I had to stop singing that.
Yeah. No,
Love
thank
you so much, but
Yeah. We don't want to fight the hardest battles of 2026. That part. Anywho,
Yes.
Yeah, I
See
would-
how I went off somewhere
I know,
dark.
me too.
Hey, come back. I like got scarred and traumatized. Okay, so you were like, I could be hot,
Yeah.
holy, and healed.
yeah, I went through this season. I was like, okay, gosh, like that was my own mantra. Like,
Yeah.
Lord, heartbreak makes you hot, but I have always been cheeky, not cookie cutter. And I came up with this phrase. I was like, I want to be holistically whole and healed and healthy and all the things while also like stewarding my beauty and taking care of my body. And so
Stewarding my beauty. I love that. We've been making everything so Christian, but
I
like
know, but
I
it
love
is.
steward this beauty God has given. Esther stewarded her
It's-
beauty.
girl, that was the inspiration behind Hot Holy Healed. It's the story of Esther. So we'll get into that a different time. But I came up with this
Amen.
phrase.
See, look how he dropped that in my
Lord.
spirit.
Yeah. But I came up with this phrase, Hot Holy Healed, and it was my resolution. It kind of was my mantra. When friends would ask me, hey, what's your New Year's resolution? I would say, I want to be hot, holy, healed. And it just kind of became
be
its
like,
own phrase, you
Okay.
know?
Come on,
And
three
so-
H's.
Yeah, it was this fun thing that kind of rolled off the tongue, and it
Yeah.
ultimately was my goal. And I was forming habits
Mm.
around all three of those pillars. So,
Right.
like, going to the gym, getting really healthy, taking Pilates. That's why Pilates is one of my main events,
Yeah.
by the way, is because
love
that's
it.
what helped me get snatched in the body. But
Right.
also, like, the habits that I was forming with God was like, okay, anywho, like all kinds of habits.
Yeah,
forming
alignment, knowing your body, mind-body connection, all of it.
holistic.
Yeah,
becoming
we love
better.
Pilates in this household.
Amen. I hate it and I love it. There's a
Right,
relationship
it's a love
there.
hate.
Yeah.
As many things are. That's the refiner. Reformer, refiner, potato.
That
You
part,
see?
girl.
Mm-hmm. That's the
Uh-huh.
reason it sounds alike.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's kind of my story is like it was my own mission before it became a community and movement. And even deeper is like my friends were catching on. They're like, hey, there's something to that. And during that time, God was really speaking to me.
Yeah.
And obviously, I shared a little bit about how I went through a season of deep grief with friendships and things of that nature. And I was begging the Lord for a friend. Please send me one
Just
friend.
one.
Just one.
Just
I
put
was
this one.
physically ill. No joke. The skinniest I've ever been, the most depressed and purposeless I've ever felt. And obviously that was a season. But in that season, I was praying, please send me a friend. And if you do, I promise I will build the bridge for other people. And that didn't come for a very long time. But when it did come, I moved back to LA. I met one of your friends. We have a mutual friend. And yeah, I found my friend group, and that kind of changed my life and trajectory. And my life has changed dramatically since then. And I knew it was time. I'm like, okay, Lord, there's something to this. And so I started building community, and Hot Holy Healed kind of took on a world of its own.
And you were like, let me stand on my promise.
Let
like,
me
now's the time.
stand on it. Yep, now is the time.
I'm bridging the gap for others. Now that I've made it over my bridge over troubled water. And I love that too, because I feel like Jazz, our friend, our mutual friend, like she came into my life as well at a time where I had just moved to LA, didn't have friends, didn't know nobody. I was just a girl from Alabama, and we met at church. I think I literally was like wearing a shirt that says Tupac cares or don't nobody else care or something like that. And I was like, you're black, I'm black, you should know what this means. And that's literally how we became friends. So I'm sure you have a similar story.
Absolutely.
But maybe
I
that's
complimented her outfit, and then we sat next to
fashion,
each other.
bringing the girls together. Beautiful
Look at
friend,
the
we
Lord.
love you. See, you have a calling on your life, okay, to bridge the
glue.
gap. So what's next? But okay, let's talk about being that person that can create space for others, and why you think, obviously, you know, being in that deep space of grief and pain and like loneliness and looking for a friend. We talk a lot on the show about hyper individualization, the lack of third spaces now. Like there is no ice cream parlor, pool hall.
Stop.
People barely go down to the church. I don't know why it had to
Girl,
be the 50s.
you're seriously from Alabama.
No, literally.
Like,
no, they had ice cream parlor. That was worldwide in the 50s, don't you think? Like with the poodle skirts. I don't know why it's Greece. But anyway, we don't have any of that now. And so I think that is a large contributor, plus that phone. And everything is virtual instead of IRL.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you can feel connected, but be super...
disconnected.
Right. Actually not. So what do you think like people are craving right now that made you say like, I'm going to create a space, not just to heal me, but to heal others?
Yeah. Great question. People need connection. Hello.
We're humans.
We're
made
humans.
for that.
It literally is a part of our DNA. It's intrinsic. It's just science.
It just is.
The Lord literally said it in the Bible. He did not make man to be alone. I know that applies to a white, but I also think it's with
it's not. He literally said it's not good for man to be alone.
Yep. Period.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, that's the truth. And so the thing right now, I think that's a multi-pronged question, and there's several layers to that. There's a few things that stick out to me, and I think first, the pandemic. Hello. We all know that. But before the pandemic, there was an epidemic of loneliness that I wasn't fully aware of, because at that time I had a huge friend group. However, obviously the pandemic hit. I went through a shift in my friend groups and also romantic relationships, and I was left alone. And a lot of people were left alone in their house,
literally
with
and
nothing but
figuratively,
being on their phone and being connected in that way. And so I think people are really searching for that in real life connection because they're tired. There's like a digital detox where people are just tired of chronically being online. And like you said, even though we're online and connected, we also feel some sort of a disconnection because there's truly nothing like being in person, right? And so I just think it's a few things. It's that epidemic of loneliness, and then also being chronically online and craving in real life spaces and human touch and connection and speaking. And that's like a huge reason as to why I built what I built, because I felt so alone and needed to be with
others.
With others. Yeah.
Let's talk about that building part, because I think it's easy to misunderstand the amount of work, pain, sweat, tears that can go into it. Obviously, once we see it on our For You page or IG, it's like, oh, period. I can get some friends together. I can do that, which you can.
Yeah.
But what do you think are like some common misconceptions people have about both building community and joining community, especially in like the early stages?
Yeah, the early stages. The
Early days,
ghetto.
isn't it? Woo, child, the ghetto.
The ghetto. That's a multi-layered question as well, but I'll talk about the building phase and then we'll talk about the community
I
side
love to
of it
sneak
all.
two into one.
Yeah, we'll
Me
sneak
being
two into
succinct.
one.
Yes.
But how I would describe kind of like what goes on in the early phases is a lot of people misunderstand just the work that goes into it. There's a lot of hard work in the beginning phases, which leads me to my second point. There needs to be such like a deep intentionality and a why behind what you're doing, because if you don't have that,
Right.
you will burn out. For me, I felt so lonely. Like my biggest pain point is what God called me to actually create.
Yeah.
And build the bridge for other people. And so that's why the passion is so deep and strong, and I can work on this
Right.
24 hours without burning out.
That's
I'm not saying to
incredible.
do that.
Right. None of this is
We don't
advice.
condone that.
After, what's some advice? None of this is advice.
It's
actually.
not advice.
Truly.
But you have to have a deep why behind what you're building.
Yeah.
I think there's kind of a common misconception of like, oh, let me just throw this thing together. Like if you want something to have longevity and legacy, there needs to be a deeper reason why. And the second piece is it's hard work.
Yeah.
Building something from
Yeah.
the ground up. Something that's literally in your mind being
Putting it in
created. Yeah.
reality.
Seeing a tangible like iteration of that
Yeah.
is hard work.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And then what do you think? Because I think that kind of is where people maybe get stuck.
Yeah.
Is they either underestimate how difficult it
Yeah.
is, and then they're like, oh, I can never do this again.
Yeah.
Or they overestimate it and never get started.
Yeah.
So for you, it sounds like you're saying, regardless of that stance, just knowing why I'm doing it helps you keep doing it.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love that.
It's the fuel that keeps
Yeah.
you going.
For
You know? Otherwise,
24
it would
hours.
feel... That's extra.
Right.
But or else it would be futile. Like, why am
Yeah.
I doing this for?
Literally.
Yeah.
And that will quickly be
Yeah.
a wrap.
Even if you're doing it, I think sometimes we do things for selfish reasons and that can be futile, you know? But if it's doing work which you're serving others, there's such like a, I don't even know how to describe it. Like
Yeah, it's pouring back into you as you pour out naturally
that part.
versus like, how many views did this get? Like,
Yeah.
that's like. And then what do you think people maybe underestimate or misunderstand about joining community, about showing up to these spaces?
Bring us back, girl. Thank you. So joining the spaces, I always say, and I had to do this too, right? Because I was building and looking for community in my deep season of loneliness. But I really, truly believe that you have to be intentional about being a friend. To have friends is to be a friend, right? You show up to these events and like you said, or we've talked about, it's like getting there is halfway. And I applaud you
Yeah.
for being so brave because that's a huge
That's
act
a big step.
when you're trying to get out of your comfort zone, but you have to take another step and speak to people, say hi, compliment one another,
Right.
right? And I think doing that, that's planting seeds to build something really beautiful.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
just it takes a lot of intentionality.
For sure. So I think showing up and speaking to people seems so like duh
Yeah.
to maybe us because we're a little more friendly and extroverted. Even though now in my old age, I'm like, I want to be at home, get my money's
Grandma.
worth. My old age of 29. I'm slaying that couch.
Yeah.
That's where you'll find me. I
Yeah.
can't wait for it, honestly. But we're going to power through now.
I can
So I feel
get your
like-
money's worth, girl.
I feel like that is a big struggle maybe for some people who are like, hey, the best I could do was actually like get there.
Yeah.
So honestly, I would say find a yapper like us and just stand by them.
Yep.
Like literally
You'll find
other
a
people
friend.
will pull up. And
That part.
one friend, exactly. All you need to do is make one friend and like that is a success.
One friend, and that's another point, is like find one person. It doesn't need to be like I go to this event and I make 10 billion friends.
Right.
Find one person.
Right.
And
And
it'll be
then
good.
that's
Yeah.
a success of
That's
that
success.
day.
Yeah.
And then come back with that person, meet another one.
Mm-hmm.
Stay consistent. Go to Hot Holy Healed Monthlies. Right.
And bid on you hikes.
There you go. We're always doing something. We're drinking wine. We're hiking. So there's something for everybody.
All the
Surely
girly
you can
things.
show up and find it.
That
We
part.
have a hike tomorrow for Valentine's Day. And I feel like something that I learned from you, even just like watching parasocially, is really being super intentional about creating that space where people can show up and
Yeah.
want to take that step. So how do you feel like you create spaces that make people feel comfortable and safe to show up as they are.
I love that. Thank you, first of all. And it's so funny how social media works,
Right.
you know, watching each other online. But ultimately, I always say it starts with us, everything that we do. I mean, if you want your spaces to be warm and inviting and fun, because those are the things that I wanted in a friend, you have to be that and exude that. And I think we talked about this before, but you can't just show up to an event angry and overwhelmed. Like, people are going to feel that.
Yeah.
If you want to create the space, be the space.
Right. And I think definitely even for us, like hosting things, not letting that overcoming perfectionist. I love that you said that when we were speaking, but not letting that bleed out onto other people, because whatever you're putting out, they're going to pick up.
Absolutely.
Like, I can't say bid on you. And then I get down there, I'm like, y'all, I barely made, like, how am I bidding on me and then telling you to do it?
Absolutely.
So definitely being conscious of your attitude, your inner world, because that's what you're going to see in your outer one.
Yeah. And another thing that I would add to that is doing the inner work. Like, things are going to happen throughout your event. If you want to curate, like I was saying, a space, you have to be whatever you want that energy to feel like and be like. And that comes with doing healing work. Hence why we do Hot Holy Healed. We're doing the inner work as well.
Right. We're looking hot on the outside because we're healed on the inside.
Yeah. Doing some mindset work.
And holy.
Yeah.
Amen.
That part.
That's what enables us to do any of it. So I love that. Well, let me ask you, because again, outside looking in, it's like, Wilson, like, I think that's iconic. So round of applause for you. But at what point did brands start to notice Hot Holy Healed, to notice the community you were building, what you were doing? And what advice would you give someone who maybe like wants to partner with a brand, but doesn't even know where to start or is worried about staying authentic in that process?
Yeah. Well, Hot Holy Healed is literally crazy. And I can only say that it is God and work, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the quote about faith. This is horrible. I tell Bible stories at Medea, but it's like faith without works is dead, right? It's like you have the faith to believe that it's going to happen, but you actually have to do the work, and then you'll see the Lord shine through. And so it's just crazy to me how everything happened with Hot Holy Healed. But I started with 2 people on Zoom, like having connecting moments like that. And then I moved into just throwing an event for my friends. I think at the time I had about 100 followers. It was my friends and family too, you know?
You were like, please come down here to
please
this.
Come.
Please
support. And what's crazy is it kind of just took on a world of its own. I threw that first in real life event.
Yeah.
And after that, posted that on social media, and it kind of took on a world of its own. I had about 100 followers at that point, 2 months in, I think. And brands started reaching out. And it just goes to show that you can literally start with nothing. Yeah. You just have to have some gumption and also believe that what you want and what you're asking for is possible.
Right.
And I think back to like the whole God thing, it's like that is unheard of. We work on the brand side. That's not a
Whenever you say that, I'm like, is she lying? Because it's just like so, like it's obviously
me too.
God,
I would
like,
think the same
you're
thing.
like, I'm lying too.
Yeah.
It's like to get the most glory out of it. Like I have never heard of them being like, let's reach out to this person with 100 followers. Like I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and
unless it's like, do you want a gift card for a survey? Like
it's crazy.
Iconic.
Yeah, it's literally a God thing. And I think, like you said, when it's the impossible things like this, that's when God gets the most glory. So I can only say it was God, but also I put in work.
You put in work. And I think
just by showing up.
Exactly. Knowing your messaging, like getting clear on who and what you're for.
Yeah.
Standing on that.
Yeah.
And then being responsive to like, okay, brands are reaching out to me. Like there's a level of ease that comes to what God has already called you to do and already blessed you with, right? So it's like, even I mentioned this to you, like having an event last month and I was like, let me just try my best. Why are people giving me a venue for free? Why are brands gifting this for free? Like that's
unheard of.
Weird, especially in Los Angeles.
Part.
Like it's not even like the South where I come from, where people are sweet. I'm just kidding. But like,
it's
truly,
true.
What is it?
Southern hospitality.
Truly, right? And so it's like, well, God's hospitality trumps it all. Like what he has for us.
Girl, I never heard that.
I just made it up.
That's a new
one.
That's
the spirit. Yeah, that's me telling Bible stories like Medea, Shadrach, and that Billy Goat. Yeah. That's me. Say here, say locked in. So I think something that's helpful is just like paying attention to what's kind of coming to us with ease.
Absolutely.
And then also looking at, okay, I have laid my steps
Yeah.
and now they're ordered for me.
Yeah. And
at
that's
the
where
same
God
time.
comes in and does his best work.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to wind down, honestly. We have this segment of our show called Bids. So it's like questions, letters, etc. that the people can send in. And we try to answer them on the show with practical advice loosely. So we had a girlie say, you know, all this is cute. The idea of this is fun. But she said, I feel called to build community, but I'm scared. Some of the things she mentioned is like, what if no one shows up? I don't have a ton of followers, like you said. I don't even know if she got 100 or 10. Help, basically.
Yeah.
And so I thought about this and I was like, what's one thing that she could do this month? Like Women's Month is coming up in March, boom. What's one thing she could do this month to start from where she is?
Yeah. Well, I first want to start off with I get where you are because I have been there 3,000 times.
More
okay?
times than a few.
More times. Girl, I've lived a long 30 years. I just turned 30.
Just turned 30. We're acting like she's 90, but yes.
Yeah. And I think you have to be okay with feeling uncomfortable and also getting out of your comfort zone. For instance, I have spent the past decade trying different things, trying to figure out what works. And I always like to say you have to throw shots in the dark and just hope that something is going to stick. And what I mean by that is I used to throw so many shots in the dark, and all those different seasons of doing podcasting and YouTubing and things like that were all breeding grounds for what I'm doing now. Even my
100%.
full-time job, all of that helped me with everything that Hot Holy Healed is. All those skills transferred over. And so I think at the end of the day, you have to be okay with being uncomfortable and not seeing the next step forward. So that's kind of like high level advice, but a practical step, I always say, you just have to take action. Action breeds clarity. Inaction breeds doubt. And I think if you're looking to build community, just start.
Do something.
Do something. Maybe gather 2 or 3 of your friends, however many you can gather. If you don't have friends, go on TikTok. You'll find someone.
Post it safely, like
it.
on your story. Be like, does anyone want to go to X public space coffee shop this Saturday?
Yeah.
Coffee Saturdays. There you have it. Keep showing up and people will start to show up too.
Yeah. And I always say, if you build a garden, the butterflies will come.
Oh, I love that. That's so poetic.
I put that in my advertisement when I first started Hot Holy Healed. It was my first post. I was like, if you build the garden, the butterflies will come. You will find your people. And it literally is true because I saw it happen in real time.
We're not telling you something we're making up. We're telling you what we know.
That part. And the thing is, you might not have people show up the first few times, but they will over time if you show up and you're consistent.
Yeah. You have to set that example. Like if you want people to show up, you have to.
Exactly. And the thing with Hot Holy Healed, I will tell you, like obviously it was a faith piece, but again, I was showing up on social media consistently because I knew there were women out there like me who felt so lonely, who needed people. And I'm at this intersection of like faith, femininity, and wellness. There's not spaces like that. And I know there are people out there who are craving it. So I showed up and I was authentic and I was myself. And I think there's something to that, right?
Yeah. And I think to just give you your flowers briefly, because we're going to have a little give her flowers moment tomorrow on the hike, but I think just seeing a lane and firing down it, a wide open space, like you said, that no one's really bridging the 2, the 3, putting it all together. So that is so powerful. So kudos to you to firstly have the creativity inspired by the creator to be able to do that. And then also, I think just being able to use your voice. Like I know singing, we still believe in Jesus' name. Like we're taking baby steps, like Olivia Dean said, child.
That part.
But I just think it's so cool for me. I can see so clearly God is like, yeah, I'm still going to use our voice. It's just going to look like this now.
So crazy how God works. Plot twist,
Literally,
you know?
He's like, yes, but a little bit of
thought.
Curve to it. Literally. I love that so much.
That's so
I'm
sweet.
so proud of you. I love watching it. And now that we're friends, I love knowing even more of the behind
you get the
scenes.
nitty gritty.
Exactly. So we're all rooting for you. We're rooting for you. We were all rooting.
That just came out.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it tripped out of my brain. Girl. And so we won't be acting like that at any of our events. So if you want to be treated right, I'm just kidding. I don't want to get sued, but all alleged. But we appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And I can't wait to get snatched.
And sanctified, honey.
Yep. Hello, and keep it hot, holy, and healed.
Yes.
While we bid on you.
That part.
So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.